Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I will be sharing with you this new release fans coming from Lian Li, known as the SL Infinty 140. Now I'll be sharing with you the fan structure itself, the accessory package that's in this pack, and also the thermal performance of these fans. Before I begin, I'd like to thank Lian Li to have provided this unit for me to share with you, and also to Block Soda to have done the arrangement to ship this to me. Let's begin. I will start off with the color variant. You have the black and white, and please note it only sells in individual package. Unlike the SL120 Infinity, you have this 3-pack set that comes with a controller, and this controller makes use of Lian Li's L-Connect 3 application to control the ARGB effects on the fan and the RPM of the fans itself. Having to say so, right, since this comes in individual package, it does not comes with a controller, but you can purchase this controller separately to control the ARGB on this SL Infinity 140, the ARGB effects on the blade, the RPM on the fans itself. If you do not purchase this separate unit as in the controller itself, you can still control the ARGB effects, but you will need to connect directly to your motherboard. And same goes to the RPM on the fans itself, which I'm going to show you later. Now back to the fans. When I unbox this, these fans are protected with this plastic covers to protect the fan. And as for accessories, be it the black or white, it comes with all this. They both of the same content, whereby you have the instruction manual over here, be it the black or white, 4 black screws, 1 cable, which this end connects to your fan, and this end, which I mentioned, you can connect directly to your motherboard, where it has the 4-pin PWM fan connector and a 5-volt 3-pin ARGB connector. And this protective frame, when you remove off this protective over here, you can paste this protective over it. Now, to do the connection point of the fan itself, right, with this cable, all you need is just to flush this groove over here. It only can go in one side. If you find that it's protruding out and you can't push it in, don't force it. Turn this connector so that, see, it will flush. Once you have done this, right, you can push it up, then it will secure. And as mentioned over here, the 4-pin PWM, this is for your motherboard fan header, and this ARGB 3-pin 5-volt connector, same thing to your motherboard. And you can make use of your motherboard utility to control the fan RPM and the ARGB effects. The build quality of this fan is pretty sturdy. Same goes to the white. And the characteristic of the ARGB effects is similar, or should I say same as the SL Infinity 120. Starting off from the front, you have this silver crest at the center, and the ring surrounding the crest, right, this is where the ARGB effect is. And also at the side over here, as you can see, on both ends. And turning to the back, your ARGB effects will glow on the blade itself, the infinity mirror in the center, and at both sides of the fan frame. This is the infinity mirror. Same goes to this side. Additional features of this fan itself is the same as the SL120. Now, if you want to do daisy chain between fans to fans itself, right, take a look at this marking over here. It's always this over here, and on the other side, which has 2 marking, and this 2 marking is to indicate lock position and to unlock. And when you daisy chain the fan together, make sure that the face is facing the same, as in like this is the frame, make sure it's the same. You can't daisy chain it this way, so take note on this. And how it's been done, what you need to do is to align this notch over here to here, see, or you can make use of the grooving over here to match, protruding out to the one that is indented. So you connect it and to push it up, or should I say align it straight. So this is in lock position, and to unlock is this position. With this said, right, there are additional features on the fan itself whereby you can remove these studs. And why do you remove these studs? In the event you were to fit a 280 radiator itself, right, by removing the studs, there might be holes protruding out, so it will not give you obstacle when you remove this, and you can just sit the fan on the radiator and having the hose to, you know, going near to this area here. But if you were to have this studs on, right, there might be some obstacle whereby the hose, when you mount on the radiator, the hose might just hit it, which I don't think you will hit. But anyway, it's just a safety measure. You can remove this off. And when you're removing this, right, please do not lose this, as you need this to interchange. See, right now I can't interchange at all. So you have to have this studs. In fact, it's not interchange, it's interconnected. See, it's a gliding slot where you can firmly connect two fans together, or maybe 3 or 4. The measurement of the fan itself from here to here, or from here to here, is 140 millimeter in length. As for the thickness itself, this is 25 millimeter thick. When you measure the fan blade itself, though this is a 140 millimeter fan, when I measure from this end to the other end, it's 122 millimeter in diameter. As for the specification of this fan, it's running on 12 volt DC, be it the black or the white version, and the RPM is at 200 lowest and 1600 the highest. The airflow is 72.7 CFM, and the noise at its max 16 RPM, or should I say 1600 RPM, is at 28 decibel. And please take note on this, whereby I mentioned about the fan load and the ARGB load. For the fan load itself is 0.15 ampere, and for the ARGB load, which is 0.6 ampere. Now on motherboards itself, when you do the connection itself, all this header, as you can see, this fan headers, please check on your motherboard manual. It will show you what are the amperage. For my board, right, I know that the CPU fan is 1 ampere, and for the other rest of the fan headers is 2 ampere. And these are the ARGB, which has a 3 ampere load. I'll start off with the fan connection, which is the PWM. Now, if you want to do daisy chain, as I've shown you earlier, as mentioned, each of this fan, the fan load itself is having 0.15. So if you were to total up 2, it's 0.3. If you total up 4, it will be 0.6, which is below the 1 amperage of my fan header, or the 2 amperage fan header. So no problem connecting with 3 to 4 fans together. But if you do connect more, right, please take note on the amperage of the fan load, which I mentioned, 0.15 each. Now for the ARGB, which is much more taxing, which is 0.6 ampere, if you were to total up 4, right, that will be like 2.4 ampere. So some of the motherboards itself, the ARGB header, which is over here, some is rated 2 ampere. If you're going to daisy chain 4 fans together, right, your 2 ampere will not be able to take it. But for some boards, it will be 3 ampere, which 4 fans is 2.4 ampere, which is just nice. Or should I say, it's more than sufficient for this ARGB connector to provide the current to your fans. So do not over daisy chain and to plug to one fan header, the ARGB header. You need to check the specification on your motherboard, so take note on this. Unless you're making use of the controller, which I shown you earlier in this box. So this is the SL Infinty controller, which you can purchase separately. Now you are able to connect 4 in each port, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So having to say, right, you can daisy chain 4 fans here, 4 fans here, 4 fans here, and 4 fans here. And when you're making use of this controller, right, make sure that you make use of the cable that comes with the controller. As you can see, right, the connection point is slightly different. Now for the individual fan itself, it comes with this kind of cable whereby this is for a fan and this is split. But for the controller itself, is different because it makes use of the unique 7 connector, which you'll see over here. In fact, this 7 pin is for the fan, 4 pin and 3 pin. So when you add up together, right, it's 7 pin. So this goes to your controller and this goes to your fan. Now I'm not going to go in depth on how you do the connection with this connector itself. I do have the controller itself. I do have a video stated on how to do the connection, making use of this controller to your motherboard and to connect to your fans, which is same as the SL120 Infinity. I'll leave the URL at my top hand corner so that you can click in and to see how it's being connected. So as mentioned, if you are plugging in directly to your motherboard, take note on the amperage of the fan load and the ARGB connector and make use of this. For those of you who have already owned the SL Infinity 120 with the controller, you might be wondering, can I plug this to the controller together with your SL120 Infinity? Not an issue. In fact, both have the same characteristics as in like the ARGB, and you can connect to the same controller and to make use of the L connect to toggle the ARGB effects. And as for the RPM itself, you might be worrying because the RPM max on SL120 Infinity is in fact 2100 RPM, and for this, right, is 1600 RPM. Not to worry, as there is a section where you can select the profile as in like 120 or 140, which I'm going to show you on the dashboard. As mentioned to you, if you have connected to both variant fans, which is the SL Infinity 120 and the SL Infinity 140 on the same controller, you will get this, as you can see over here on the dashboard on the L Connect tree, which says SL Infinity Lightings. This is meant for you to control the ARGB effects, whereby it depends on which port you have connected your SL120 Infinity or the SL140 Infinity. So these are the individual ports. Now as for the RPM itself, as I mentioned, you can select the profile. Let's say you connect port 1 as 140, SL140 Infinity, you can just select 140. It will go accordingly to the RPM of the fan. And if let's say you connect port 2 with the SL120 Infinity, then you select 120. Then from there you can control the fan curves and such. This is how the ARGB look like on the fans itself. Now as you can see on my left, the blade is running, else on my right is not, so that I can hold it. At the front, as mentioned to you, at the center crest, or should I say the silver center crest, you have this ring that has the ARGB effect. And at the side over here, and of course to the extreme side, you have this infinity mirror. Same goes to the other end. And when you flip to the back, now the blade itself has ARGB effect. Looking at the left, see? And at the center, this is where the infinity mirror is again. And at the side. There you have it. Hope you guys have actually enjoyed what I've shared with you. And on my next video, I will be conducting the thermal test on an actual 280 AIO with this fan on it, on an actual system. And to compare with some of the I should say 140mm fans. So this will judge how good these fans are, as in like the airflow, the static pressure and such. With this said, for those of you who are actually new to my channel, if you like my content, do remember to subscribe and to click on the notification bell button. Till then, take care, goodbye, see ya.